And hello YouTube, this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'm today on a brand new video for Gaming with GS, and today we're going to take a look at Guild Wars 2, and something related to the World vs. World portion of the game. This is a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time now, but I've never really had the chance to record it. They also recently added some new things and some new abilities to World vs. World as well, so I wanted to hold off on that until I was a bit more knowledgeable about these things, and so I can make a proper guide for you. And I've done some research, I've asked some other people for some advice, and I certainly have tried some of these things out myself. And today's video is going to be on World vs. World abilities and how you should be using your points as you level up. Now, as you can see, I do have my Halloween clothes on. I did not get to comment on that for the past few videos, but Halloween will be coming on the 18th, I believe. So next Tuesday, Halloween's coming. Get ready for the labyrinth to come back, and it's going to be a great place to get some loot, but also to level up your Quarteria masteries, because last year they forgot to implement that. Well, this year they're going to implement it, so if you still don't have your masteries for Quarteria, then this is a great way to do them. Just thought I'd throw a little note in there because it is something I wanted to mention. I forgot to mention in a previous video. So today we're going to take a look at this menu right here, World vs. World, and we're going to head to the ranks and abilities section. Now, it's very easy to get into World vs. World. It's very fun as well. I'm not too high of a level. I'm only level 72 on here. I know several people that are in the hundreds here, in the 200s here in World vs. World, so plenty of other people who have a lot more experience than I do, but I'm here to sort of talk about the abilities here and which abilities are best for you to rank up. Now, if you take a look at my abilities here, when I was still a noob, didn't know what the heck I was doing, I leveled up Burning Oil Mastery. And as we go through this guide here, this video, you'll learn that Burning Oil Mastery is probably the worst one, or among the worst ones that you can possibly rank up. So just right off the bat, do not rank this one up first. I mean, obviously, if you have everything else ranked up, then you can rank it up, but this should not be a priority. My first 20 points went here, and it was a complete mistake. I could have added my 20 points to somewhere else. So as you level up in World vs. World, whether you're killing things, whether you're building things, repairing things, whether you're capturing towers, anything that you do in World vs. World, you gain World vs. World experience at the top here, obviously. Now, as you level up, as you level 72 major, you also gain points. So every level, you get a new point. And these are little abilities here that you can actually advance, and they help you in World vs. World by improving some of the things that you can do. Such as, for example, Repair Master, you can repair a lot better. And there's some really neat things about some of these abilities because they add special skills. For example, if we take a look at the Catapult Mastery, each of these skills gives you something new, and if you end up maxing it, you can actually get a protective bubble around it. So these aren't just, you know, some bland skills that you level up and they just do more damage or they just increase the effectiveness. Some of these abilities you can actually add a new mechanic to your playstyle. If you happen to be, you know, using catapults a lot, you can max this up and you have a new mechanic such as the protective bubble here. So lots of cool skills. They have recently added some new, or I believe one new ability here, the Provisions Master. So some pretty cool things are being added to this ability list. I wonder if they're going to be adding more things as they progress through the World vs. World overhaul. But one thing that I see very commonly in World vs. World is a mistake that a lot of new players either completely ignore the system, they don't want to touch their points because they don't know what to do, or they just, you know, go down the list upgrading this and upgrading this and upgrading this. And there are a lot of cool ones at the bottom here, especially Flame Ram Mash, which is very important all the way at the bottom. And if you're one of those people who like to go from top to bottom chronologically, then you won't get one of the best abilities until the very end. So that's kind of why I'm making this video. I've tried to look for video guides. Some of them are out of date. Some of them I couldn't even find. So hopefully this video guide will be very helpful to some of you who are interested in World vs. World and who want to use your points and you haven't used your points yet, because I used to be like that too. I didn't want to use my points because I didn't know what to use them on until I got a little more information. So anyhow, I've broken this down into 3 categories. One, the most important skills that you should have and you should be leveling up first. Then we have secondary skills that you should eventually start leveling up. And then we have certain abilities and skills that you really don't need to worry about. These are skills and abilities that you want to put points in when you have everything else maxed out and all the important things already done. But that'll be like somewhere in like 200, 300 levels or so. I'm not exactly sure how many points you need to max all these out, but I know it's a lot. Now I would say the most important abilities in this list to level up would be Flame Ram Mastery, and which is all at the bottom, or the Catapult Mastery. Now, a lot of times these abilities that you level up will depend on if you're running with Zergs a lot, if you're running with small groups, if you're running by yourself a lot. Obviously, if you're running with Zergs in big groups, you're most likely going to use Catapults more. If you are running in smaller groups, then you're probably going to use Flame Mastery more, the Flame Ram more. So you want to get the Flame Ram Mastery. But essentially, both of these are very important. So make sure you have points in the Catapult and Flame Ram. What I would suggest you do is to have 20 points in each of these, because 20 points will get you, or I think the fourth level here, I think you may need a little more than 20 points. But the fourth level here, I think you need 55 points. The fourth level gives you increased bonus damage, so you want to achieve that. That's very useful for catapults. And you'd also like to have the third level, which is only 20 points required to reduce the recharge time of your ram skills. So the flame ram, you can usually press a button to ram it into the keep to bring down the door. So you want to make sure you have this third one here at least, so you can do it a lot quicker and you can get the gate down a lot faster. Like I said, catapult, important. If you want to max it out, you do get a really nice shield, so you can get that. And I would recommend highly to increase the catapult damage. As you see, I haven't even completed that yet because I foolishly added points into burning oil, and I decided to level a few other things that I'm going to go over as well, including Flame Ram Mastery is very important as well. I tend to like Flame Ram Mastery a bit more because I tend to run with a bit more smaller groups, so I decided to go with this one first. But depends on your playstyle, they're both very important and very useful. Now, another really important one is the Supply Master, I believe. Supply Master, here we go. You at least want to rank this up to rank 4 because you do have a chance of gaining supply back when you're using your supply. So this is a really good one. You actually save yourself some supply. It only costs 10 points as well, so not very hard to get. This is a really important one though. You always need supply in War vs. World, whether it's for building, whether it's for fixing. You're always going to need supply, and the more supply you can carry, the better. So the fact that you can possibly get some supply back from using it is a really good perk to have. So at least maxes up to 4 as early as you can. Now the next one I'll go over is 2 of them actually, Build Master and the Repair Master here. These you want to max out as soon as possible as well. Obviously after Catapult Mastery and after Flame Ram Mastery and perhaps after Supply Master, then you may want to focus on the Repair Master and the Build Master. And maxing these out to the top is important because you do get to speed up when doing these things. You get to build faster, you get to repair things faster, and it's always good to be quick in War vs. World. You want to build quickly and you want to repair quickly. One thing I do want to be clear about and note is that a lot of these you can decide what you want to pick first. I mean, you don't have to pick Catapult Mastery first or Flame Ram Mastery first. If you don't see yourself using those as much, if you see other people using those usually a bit more, then obviously you could focus on Supply Master first or Build Master first or Repair Master first. All of these are in the first category of really important skills that you should have. So there's no particular order, but these skills that are in this category here of the really important skills that I'm going over right now, you could decide which one you want to level up first or which one you want to level up second. As long as you're picking one of these that I'm going over, it's good to level them up. But like I said, it's totally up to your preference. I'm just sort of trying to guide you through what you should be leveling up first and what you want to avoid, and how many points you want to spend in each, because some of them you don't really need to max out. Now the next important one I think is good to have is the Provisions Master. This is a recent one they added into the game, and I would recommend leveling up to Auto Loot here. It costs 20 points. There are some other cool perks that are related to PvE, I would say. You can relate these to War vs. World as well, but You can have a chance to get some of the Heart of Thorns, runes, and sigils if you like those for maxing it out. The best one here, I would say, is Auto Loot for me personally. But what's even better though, and this is what you get for leveling up only a little bit, only a few points are required for this. It allows you to buy siege weapons, it allows you to buy buffs and all kinds of things that you would usually have to go back to the keep to buy. You can buy these things right from your inventory. So if you happen to need more siege, or you happen to need something that you don't want to go back to the keep and then have to go back to the Zerg, this is a really nice ability to have, because it allows you to continue to stay with your group without having to go back and then join them again. You can just buy things right from your inventory. You're gonna get a little box and you can buy things through your inventory. So this is a really good one to have. You can level this up as much as you'd want. This is kind of sort of up to your preference, but I do recommend having the first few points in this, because you can buy things a lot easier and quicker and more efficiently. Another very useful one is the supply capacity here, and this is probably one that I would recommend leveling up after some of the other ones. It's not too important, especially if you're running in Zergs a lot. You tend to have a lot of supplies anyhow. If you're running in smaller groups, you may want to focus on this one a bit more, but you do get to increase your supply count. The only unfortunate part is that it does require a lot of points. In fact, just to increase your supply count by 5, it needs 145 points, and just for one, actually just for 2, it requires 20. So I guess if you think about it, 145 points for 5 extra supplies every time you pick up a supply. Obviously those supplies will, you know, count up and start actually reaching past 145 points, so your points will be worth it. But it does require a lot of points, and I think some of the other abilities are a bit more worthwhile spending your points on. So this is a good one to have. You can max this out if you like to do so, but I would max it out after I've done some of the other important ones. This is still in the important should have abilities that I recommend in the first category, but like I said, towards the end maybe. And the last one I want to go over deals with defense. Let me see which one it is again. I believe it's defense against the guards. Here it is, defense against the guards. This is a fairly good one to have. It's not too expensive. In fact, if you max it out, you do take 20% less damage, not only from guards, but also from lords. So if you find yourself dying a lot, if you have a build that's kind of squishy, not very tanky, you don't have a lot of health, you don't have many utility spells that give you stability or a lot of protection or more defensive stats, then this is a good one to have, because it does reduce the damage 20%, and 20% is a lot if you think about it. So another good one to have, but like I said, this is the last one that I want to go over for the should have category of abilities that you should be leveling up as you start playing War vs. World. Some people recommend leveling this up first to maximum, because if you're new to War vs. World, you may have a hard time, but quite frankly, the NPCs in War vs. World are just like the ones in PvE. They're not too difficult, but this is completely up to your preference. If you have no trouble with the with War vs. World and you're not dying, then you could literally level this up last, or you could level this up after some of the other ones that I'm going to go over right now in the next category, which is sort of secondary abilities. Some of the abilities you want to get after you've gotten some of these primary ones and priority ones that I've gone over already. But completely up to your preference here. It's not a must-have, but it is useful to have. So if you have some spare points, you could put some points in here, and it'll help you out some bit. Now for secondary ones, I'm aware that we have some other siege, such as ballistas, such as arrow carts, and you can pretty much level these up if you see yourself using them a lot. If you like manning some of these siege, if you see that you like using those, if you feel that you're very good at them, then you can level them up. But quite frankly, catapults and flame rams are the most popular ones that are being used most of the time by commanders. So that's why I chose to have those being the priority list and the primary skills. But for secondary skills, you could level up some of the other siege abilities, and they will basically increase your efficiency at them. As you can see, ballista leveling is up to maximum, increases the radius, and you also increases the range, and faster shots as well. So very useful if you tend to use these siege a lot, but not much required. Some of the other ones that I went over are a bit more useful than those, because ballistas and arrow carts are really only useful for specific situations. If you don't have catapults or flame rams, or if you need them for specific situations. So that's why I put these into the secondary category, but you can very much so level these up if you see yourself using them a lot, or if you like using them and you feel like you're very good at them. Now another one that is I wouldn't worry too much about, but it can be useful, especially if you're running in smaller groups, Guard Killer. This is a good one to have. Like I said, it's not really that necessary. That's why it's not in the primary set of skills that I recommend in the first category. It's in the second category. You're most of the time going to kill guards very quickly, especially if you're in large zergs. You may not even get any hits on some of the veterans. But if you see yourself roaming alone a lot or in smaller groups, this is a good one to have. I wouldn't spend too many points on it though and worry about it too much. This is one of those abilities that you would want to max out near the end if you have like all the other ones already complete and you're sitting at level 150 or 200 already and you have some extra spare points. Then I would recommend putting it in these, but not very important. Really up to your preference. Once again, if you're having trouble killing them, you can definitely put some points into them. And the last one that I want to go over in the secondary category of recommended skills that you could have if you want to have them is Siege Might. Now this is one that increases the damage of siege. If you're in siege a lot, obviously use this because it can be very helpful, especially if you have catapults and flame rams and ballistas and arrow carts. If you have points in those and you see yourself using them a lot, this is a really good ability to have, because if you max it out, you can actually get a pretty good boost, a 10% increase in damage. And that could make a difference. You could be hitting harder if you have this skill. So this is a good one to have, but like I said, not very much so necessary. Only necessary if you are specific to using siege a lot and you're manning this siege a lot. Then it's a very good skill to have. But otherwise, for the average player, not really required. That's why it's at the bottom of the secondary list. Now, all the other ones I've pretty much gone over. A lot of the other ones are just specific siege, like mortars and golems and trebuchets. And those are, like I said, if you tend to use those siege a lot, then you can add points. That was in the secondary. Skills that I would recommend you level up after the primary ones. And the last two that we haven't gone over yet are the ones that I would say level up last, because they're not very useful at all. The first one is the Mercenary one, which is right here. The Mercenary ability. This is really only good if you tend to fight a lot of the NPCs in Eternal Battlegrounds. If you kill the mercenaries here, it's sort of like PvE related, so it's not very useful in World vs. World specifically. That's why this is probably the very last one I would level up. And then the other one that's not very useful, which is the one that I've actually put points in stupidly, Burning Oil Mastery. The reason why this isn't so useful is because burning oil is usually the very first thing people destroy. In fractals, you have burning oil, and it's usually the first thing people destroy. So you best bet that if people are destroying the burning oil in fractals first, then people are definitely going to destroy it here in World vs. World first. This is one of the key things that every World vs. Worlder tries to teach others, is to always destroy the burning oil first. Putting points into this isn't very useful because it always gets destroyed, and it's not a very successful piece of siege, just because everyone always destroys it first. So level it up last. This is pretty much after. Obviously, it has more use than the Mercenary one, because there could be times where you may see a small group and they haven't destroyed the oil, and you could use it then. But I would say level this up second to last, the Mercenary one last, and that should be when you're a really high level in versus World. You have extra points left over, then you can put it into the burning oil and put the rest into Mercenary. And that's pretty much it. That's kind of all the skills here, and that's kind of how I would level them up. Obviously, I'm not very high level, so I have not applied my points to all these yet. But after some research, after doing some reading, and just thinking about a lot of these skills and talking to a few other people, I thought I'd share the knowledge with you. I thought I'd share my thoughts and ideas and pass the knowledge down to you, because that's what we do in this channel. So if you like the video, if you like the channel, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because plenty of other Guild Wars 2 guides, Guild Wars 2 content on the channel. If you have any questions or comments, leave it down in the comment box down below. I'll be sure to answer any questions that you may have. And if you have any suggestions on specific abilities that you would recommend leveling up first or leveling up last, or perhaps in the future maybe some of these abilities are not as good anymore, or they add new abilities you can can definitely leave a comment down below and give some of your own helpful suggestions. We're all here to learn, so we're recommending you to check in the comment section below if you still have more questions, because there may be some other people that have comments and some things that are very helpful. If you'd like to donate $1 to my Patreon page, you can do so. Click the card in the top right hand corner of the screen and it'll bring you to the page. And if you want to check out my vlogging channel, the tutorials channel, music channel, or the advice channel, you can click the links in the description as well as on the end card. That's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for watching as always. And this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.